Procrastination has already been costing you more than you'll ever know, and you've been blaming the wrong thing the entire time. And it's not your schedule, it's not your discipline or your environment, or that you don't have enough time in the day. It's the fear. Until you see it for what it actually is, nothing changes. Not your income, not your business, not your life. The world's largest study on entrepreneurship was just released. The Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, which surveys entrepreneurs across more than 53 different countries, representing nearly half the world's population, published its yearly global report. And buried inside one of the most comprehensive pieces of research ever conducted on business and human ambition was a single finding that actually shocked me. The survey found that 2 in 5 adults globally plan to start a new business this year, and that's a staggering 94% increase on the year before. The desire to build something, to break free from the 9 to 5 or scaling their current business, to create wealth on their own terms, has never been more widespread than it is now. And yet the same survey revealed something that stopped me in my tracks. When asked what's holding them back, it wasn't a lack of funding, it wasn't a lack of skill sets, it wasn't a lack of opportunity, it was fear. The fear of failure, the fear of being unsuccessful, the fear of not being ready, the fear of getting it wrong, making a mistake, looking stupid, the embarrassments. 2 in 5 people, that's not a niche problem, that's an epidemic. And that's what makes this so important for every entrepreneur watching this video right now, because fear of failure does not disappear once you build a business. It evolves, it gets more sophisticated. It stops looking like paralysis and starts looking like procrastination. The business decisions that you keep on delaying, the offer that you keep on refining, the investments that you almost keep on making, that's gonna make the biggest difference into your business. The fear is identical, the disguise is almost more convincing. In my work with entrepreneurs all around the world, I see this every single day. You have brilliant people, they're capable, highly driven business owners who are not stuck because of their strategy. They're stuck because fear has quietly taken the wheel and dressed itself up as what I call the 3 Ps. Preparation, perfectionism, and practicality so convincingly that they just can't see it. The reframe away from fear is a defense mechanism itself. So stay with me, because what I'm about to show you is going to change how you see everything that you've been putting off. I'm Mindy, founder and CEO of Mind, Money and Business, my mentoring company that helps scale businesses. I've helped business owners add over $100 million of revenue into their businesses across more than 87 different industries globally. And in this video, I'm going to show you the real reason why you really procrastinate and why everything you've tried to fix this has probably not worked, and the 3 steps that you can take right now that will finally break the pattern for good. Step number 1 is identifying the real thing that's really holding you back. A lot of people talk about failure, being afraid to fail, but failure is simply a feedback. I remember reading this book from Peter Jones, who's a great entrepreneur called Tycoon. And in this book, he said, there is no such thing as failure. Use failure as feedback. Imagine if you reframe the word failure as feedback, because that's going to tell you what didn't work and what not to do again. But when you're afraid of failure, guess what? You're always inclined not to take the action because you're so afraid of facing that failure. Because let's face it, who wants to fail, right? I don't definitely want to fail, but failure is a part of success. So reframe that. So what lesson can you learn? Something doesn't work out. Maybe you're afraid of prospecting. I might say the wrong thing. Maybe they might not want to speak to me. Maybe you're afraid of rejection. And here's the thing, you're not always going to get people that say yes to you every single time, right? So be prepared that you are going to have some people that say no. Get as many no's as you can until you get the yes. So don't expect everybody to say yes to you. So once you understand that, hey, listen, not everybody's going to say yes to me, that automatically puts you into the feedback mode. So you haven't failed, maybe it wasn't a good fit. So why would you want to not do something that's going to make the biggest difference to your money? So I want you to go back and look over the last 7 days, what haven't you done that you should have done, but you didn't do it because you were afraid of an outcome that you didn't want to have. So this might be prospecting. Maybe it's that email or quote that you had to send out, or maybe you had to get back to someone, or maybe it's follow-up. So you don't do something because you're afraid to fail. It's because there's some procrastination that's going on behind the scenes. So your behavior traits are causing the procrastination. You don't deliberately say, I don't want to do this. You don't do something because it makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel a certain way. So therefore you start to procrastinate on doing the thing that's going to make the biggest difference. Now I look back to when I wasn't successful, and I remember all the things that I used to say I'm going to do. I'd have my to-do list in the morning, and then I'd look at it, I'd feel uncomfortable, I don't want to do this, and I'd just pick and choose the things that make me feel good, that I'm good at, and I'd always neglect the things that would make the biggest difference into my business, my finances, my wealth creation. And ultimately, guess what? I'd always give in. I'd always give into that feeling of fear. I don't want to fail. So one of the things I used to do, or maybe you do too, is putting off prospecting. Like, say business is a bit slow, you've got a whole database of people, you've got people on your Instagram, you've got so many different contacts, but you'll never ever pick up the phone to ring someone because you don't want to feel pushy, you don't want to feel salesy. These are unconscious things that create your behavior, so that causes you to procrastinate. So if you feel that salespeople are scum, guess what? You'll never pick up that phone because you'll label yourself as scum, as someone who only wants some money. So you'll start to resent the one action that's going to make the biggest difference. So if you've been putting off prospecting, I guarantee you, if you start doing it right now, you'll form a habit and you'll start to enjoy it. And you'll no longer put it off. It'll become a habitual habit. So next time you find yourself about to procrastinate, putting things off, having that delay, I'll do it later. Push through, do it now. Say, no, I've got to tackle this. I've got to climb up this mountain. Face the fear and do it anyway, and you'll have so many more breakthroughs. Before the next step, if you're already resonating with this, I put together a free 5-day challenge. There's a link in the description below where you can register for your seat right now. Over the 5 days, I'll walk you through the exact process that I've used with my clients to identify and dismantle the specific fears that are driving their procrastination. So you make sure that you hit the link below and register for your seat right now. So let's dive into step number 2 and eliminate sabotaging. So let's dive into step number 2 and show you how to eliminate that procrastination once and for all. Your subconscious mind is not sabotaging you, and it's not your enemy. It's there to help you and serve you if you understand how to use it correctly. So a lot of people feel that their subconscious mind is there to sabotage them. Your subconscious mind operates from what it deems safe about you. It responds to the type of a person that you believe you are, and it only bring you the like conditions, like circumstances, and like actions that are in alignment with the type of a person that you believe you are. If you want to change your results, we've got to take a deep dive into the subconscious mind and really get a bigger understanding, a wider understanding of how it actually works and how it affects your day-to-day running of your business, your actions, and your results. Now, a lot of people say to me, Mindy, I procrastinate, I self-sabotage all the time. You know, things are going great and something always has to happen. But here's the thing, you have your own story, and it's a convincing story about yourself, the type of a person that you believe you are, the type of things that happen to a type of person like you. Have you ever had a situation where you've seen an opportunity where you could literally multiply your income and you don't see it happening to you because it doesn't happen to people like you? I can't hit 100K a month. I remember when I first set my goal out to earn 10K a month, I already had the story coming up telling me that I'm not a 10K a month earner. So I wouldn't take the steps that I was taught what to do in order for me to get to that 10K. So I would always tell myself this unconscious story. I can't do that because X, Y, and Z. And I'd always avoid the thing that I should be doing. So it's my own story that was running my business. It's running the way I acted, it's running the way I took action. So what is your story? You must have a story. Everybody has a story. Now your story is causing this self-sabotage, because you don't feel that you're that type of a person. Now, until you start to reframe that story that you have about yourself, nothing's really going to change because you're going to always give in to this story, this belief that you have about yourself. For me, I always believed that I could never earn 10,000 a month. I wasn't smart enough. So anytime I had the opportunity to do something, guess what? I'd always fall back into my story. So what's your story? What's your story telling you about yourself? Get a pen and paper and write down a negative belief that you have about yourself, a story that you keep on telling yourself time and time again, and it's probably getting in the way of step number 1 that we just covered. Everybody has a story. Is yours a positive one or is it a negative one? Either way, it's going to be controlling your behavior that controls your results. Simple. Step number 3, stop feeding the beast. Stop trying to motivate yourself out of procrastination and start building that identity that actually makes wealth inevitable. When I'm talking about the beast, I want you to think about this old story about yourself that you keep on telling yourself over and over again. I'm not this type of person. This doesn't happen to me. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. I always procrastinate. I'm not effective. I'm not a good salesperson. Whatever that is, the more nonsense you feed that beast, the more that beast is going to grow and it's going to take over your entire life, your business, your finances. So stop feeding the beast. Now reframe that, right? So you have a story, simple. I have a story about myself, and this is a story, it's either negative or it's positive, and it's not serving me well. So what am I going to stop telling myself about this? Now, I used to tell myself, I can't earn 10,000, I can't earn 10,000, even though that was my goal. I'd always tell myself, here's my goal, I'm motivated by this, I'm reading this on my goal card, I'm visualizing my 10K a month goal. And on the other hand, throughout the day, 95% of the day, I'm telling myself all the reasons why I can't earn 10,000 a day. So guess what? I was feeding the beast. I'm not smart. I didn't get a good education. I failed most of my life. I've never seen 10,000 in my account. I'm not a good salesperson. I'm not that type of person. I'd tell myself this over and over again, and this story would just build up and build up and build up. I want you to think about right now, what stories have you been feeding your beast? What have you been feeding with it on a day-to-day basis? What's that one conversation that you find yourself having with yourself time and time again, that you might not even just have it with yourself, you might be having it with your partner? Oh, this is so hard, darling, I can't do this, I'm not switched on. Business is tough out there, the ads are not working, this is not working, this doesn't happen to people like us, it's so hard out there, I don't know how I'm going to do it, I can't do it, I'm going to fail, I know I am. These are all stories that you keep on affirming to your subconscious mind. And then your subconscious mind must respond to whatever you're feeding it. So if you're going to feed the beast, feed your beast with something good, something that's going to actually work towards your goal. Feed it favorable suggestions. A lot of people turn to affirmations, right? I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. They do like mirror work, read a bunch of books, motivation videos, saying affirmations, jumping up and down. But then the minute they stop doing that, the next 90% of the day, they're feeding the beast rotten food. Guess what happens? You feed the beast with rotten food, guess what shows up? Yep, you got it, rotten results. So now I want to really start to think about, what are you feeding yourself? What are you feeding your beast? Are you feeding it something good or something bad? Now, it's not about positive thinking. Don't mix this up with positive thinking, because when you think something, you internalize it, you start thinking about it, you start dwelling on it, and it starts to like sink into your subconscious mind. Did you know your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between something that's imagined and something that's real? And whatever you feed it, whether it's a lie, you've heard the phrase, you tell yourself a lie often enough, yep, you end up believing it. So that's the truth. That is an actual truth. So I was feeding myself a lie that I'm already doing like 100 grand a month. I'm already doing 10 grand a month, over and over again, over and over again. Then I would start having corresponding thoughts of me earning 10,000. So I got really adjusted to that 10,000 a month identity, and boom, it happened. That's when I hit my first 9K day. It wasn't even a month, it was a 9K day. I started feeding the beast with the right food at the right time and the right amount of time. So what are you going to feed your beast from today onwards, and what are you not going to feed it? Once you start feeding the beast, you start working with your subconscious mind towards the outcome that you want, and you don't get fearful, you give it good feedback, and that's when your results start changing. That's when you stop procrastination and you become a fast action taker, and you get more done in less time. So you never ever find that you're saying there's not enough hours in the day anymore. So try it. Now, procrastination is not a time management issue. It's not a discipline problem, and it's not a motivation problem. It's a fear problem, and until you address the root cause of fear, it's always going to be there. No system, no hack, no amount of willpower will ever help you push through and fix this permanently. So in this video, we cover the 3 steps that are going to eliminate procrastination forever. The first step is identifying the real fear underneath the procrastination, because it's never about the task. It's always about what the task may reveal about yourself. And step number 2, understand that your subconscious mind is not sabotaging you. It's simply responding to your story, and it's supposed to protect you. And step number 3, stop feeding the beast. Stop trying to motivate yourself out of procrastination, because it's simply not going to work. Because the permanent solution is not a feeling, it's an identity shift. So you got to reframe what you think about yourself and that story that you keep on telling yourself over and over again. And once you lock in this new story, you'll find that procrastination seems to leave you, and you'll become more effective, more productive than ever before. Now you know exactly what's going on, and more importantly, you know exactly what to do about it. Now, if this video really landed with you, you need to watch this next one. It dives deep into why procrastination actually keeps so many people stuck, and why people always only talk about their goals but never actually move forward, and the exact mindset that you can finally use to start taking massive action and stop delaying and start seeing real results. So click the video right now, and I'll see you there.